Hello, this is Dylan Lange, branch manager and home loan officer here at Whatcom Home Loans, which is powered by Evergreen Home Loans. And if you're watching this video, I have either sent this to you or you're exploring different lending options, which I think is fantastic. I know a lot of lenders maybe don't encourage that, but what I've seen in my 10-year career is a lot of people that are looking at lending options, all they are programmed to ask is, what's your rate, what's your fee? I think those are very important questions, but I would argue there's 20 other variables that I think are more important to making sure you have a successful loan experience and home buying experience, or even refinance experience or renovation experience, whatever you're getting a home loan for. There are 20 other questions that you should be asking your lender when you are interviewing them. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret, and I'm going to answer those questions on my behalf as well. So if you don't have the PDF, reach out to me, Dylan@evergreenhomeloans.com, and I'll send it over to you. Or you may already have the PDF and you can follow along. So this is what the PDF looks like. And once again, I've been doing this for 10 years. These are the questions that I would be asking a lender if I was going to trust them with the biggest financial decision of my life. I wouldn't just be looking online at rates or fees, or do I think I like them? These are actual questions for you to interview that lender to make sure they are the best fit for you. And it may not be me, right? I hope it is. And I hope that these answers will really help direct us to working together, because I would love to help you with a smooth home buying or refinance or renovation or new construction process. So how long have you been a loan officer? That is a very important question to determine the loan officer's experience. There was over 420,000 licensed loan officers in 2021. That number is now under 100,000 licensed loan officers nationally. The reason is this business has gotten tough, right? A lot of people have gotten out of the business. 2021 rates were super low, and it was a gold rush. Everybody was jumping in the business. People were staffing up. You need an experienced loan officer on your side. So I've been doing this for 10 years. I got started in 2015. So almost 10 years now, because my 10-year anniversary is in October. Number two, how long have you been with this specific lending institution? Why this is important is you want to make sure that that loan officer hasn't jumped around to 10 different companies in the last year, that they understand the program guidelines. They know who to go to for underwriting, processing. They know the system so that that doesn't impact you. I've now been with Evergreen Home Loans for almost 3 years now. My previous company, Umpqua Bank, was the other 7 years of my career. I'm not a loan officer that's jumping around to multiple companies, chasing a paycheck, or looking for the next big thing. I like consistency. I know our products. I know our guidelines. I know our value proposition. Number three, do you have a team? Do you have a designated loan assistant, a processor, an underwriter who can help with my file? Who's the main point of contact? Why is that important? Well, there's a lot of teams out there that you'll talk to the loan officer and then you'll never hear from them again. I'm a very hands-on loan officer. You will always be talking to me. I do have a production partner who does more of the back end stuff. Ian, he may reach out to you for documentation or something like that, but I am really the main point of contact. We also have a designated loan processor who processes all the paperwork, and all of our underwriting is in-house through Evergreen Home Loans. We've got some products that we do broker that, but all of our underwriters are in-house. I know their names. I know the management team. I know everybody to make sure it's a very, very smooth process for you. Number four, what tools or resources do you have to watch interest rate fluctuations and monitor for me? This is very important. When you talk about rates and fees and questions around that, how experienced is that loan officer and how closely are they watching the market? I personally subscribe to what's called Mortgage Market Guide because they are way smarter than me. But this gives me a really nice snapshot into what the stock market's doing, what the bond market's doing, which impacts interest rates. And then every day they send out at least 2 videos, very quick snapshot of what's going on, and if I should lock my loans or if I should wait to lock my loans. So this is how I actually help my clients make decisions. It also gives me an economic calendar of what's coming up, inflationary readings, what the Fed's doing, all the things that are going to impact you to make sure that you get the best possible pricing on your loan, right? But if a loan officer cannot answer that, that's very concerning, right? They are the expert. They need to direct you and help you with the pricing. How will you manage my mortgage post-closing? Oh, you'll never hear from me again. right? That's a different answer than me. I call you on your loan anniversary every single year. I do a group text with your real estate agent. I'm constantly watching pricing, constantly making sure that if there's an opportunity for you to get a really, really good deal on a refinance, I'm reaching out to you so that we can get you the lowest rate and payment possible. I want to manage that mortgage for the rest of your life so that you don't have to watch it. There's a lot of loan officers that you will never hear from again, and you will just wonder what you should do with your mortgage or if you ever needed cash out. So that's a very important question to ask. What's the best way to reach you? Days and times you typically work. I give every one of my clients my personal cell phone number. There's loan officers out there that will not. You will get their Zoom line or their office line, and they could be out golfing. They could be signing off early and you won't hear from them on the weekend. You have my personal cell phone number. From the hours of really 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., I'm with our son and with my wife. That's a little bit harder to reach me. Weekends, I'm with my family a lot. So it's, I like to have a little bit of a heads up. I'm a little bit more unavailable. But other than that, I am totally available. You'll have my personal cell phone. You can text me, call me, email me. Happy to help you because I know that I don't want you to think of a question late at night and not be able to sleep. Reach out to me. How we keep the buyer's agent and myself updated throughout the loan process. There unfortunately are a lot of loan officers that do not have a designated loan process or a spelled out loan process. So if and when we work together and go under contract, I send this email update every Tuesday and every Friday. I call you every Tuesday morning, and then I send this email out every Tuesday and Friday afternoon. It's got the 15 mortgage milestones, and I complete the dates as they happen, and I give a little update. I also send this to your buyer's agent and the listing agent, and this is part of another question which I'll go into. This is our value proposition to that listing agent that, hey, my loan officer is highly communicative. He knows what he's doing, and he's going to communicate at a very, very high level 3 times a week. So you will not question where your loan is at in the process, or are we going to close on time? There's a lot of loan officers that will just sporadically spew information at you, or, oh, we got the appraisal back. You have no idea what that means, right? Even if you bought a few homes, what does that mean? What's next? I always let you know what's happened, what's next, and that we're on track for closing. Where can I find online reviews about your service? This is imperative that you look into this, right? If you're booking a hotel, if you're going to a restaurant, if you're going out on a date night, whatever it may be, what do? You look at the online reviews. You want to know what sort of experience you are going to have before you have it. So look up that lender online. If there's 0 reviews, that is concerning. If there's bad reviews, that is concerning. If there's only 2 reviews, that potentially shows that maybe they don't have a lot of experience, right? So those are very, very crucial items. If you go to my website, which is whatcomhomeloans.com, or just Google my name, you will find over 500 5-star reviews. I've been doing this for 10 years. I do hundreds of loans a year, and people have a really good experience with me. So on Zillow, I've got over 170 reviews. I'm number 1 in Whatcom County, which is my predominant lending county. On experience.com, I've got over 430. Google, I've got over 85. Facebook, I've got over 15. Yelp, I've got over 10. LinkedIn, so on and so forth. If you just Google my name, read those reviews. You want to know what sort of experience you are going to have with that loan officer before you have it, because sometimes it's too late. And if you have a bad experience, trust me, it's an emotional roller coaster. How long are appraisals taking? So let's go over these 3 right here. These are all appraisal related. Why is an appraisal important, you may ask? Well, if that appraisal comes in low, you may be in it your inspection money. You have to pay for the appraisal as the borrower. You could be in it a few $1,000s. And if the company you're working with doesn't have local appraisers, they haven't hand selected those appraisers that are well known and that really don't have issues, you could be out $2,000, let's say, and the seller doesn't have to drop the price to that low appraisal. They could say, hey, I've got 3 other backup offers that are cash or that have a 2280, which is an additional down, and they'll pay this price. And then you're out your appraisal and potentially your inspection money. So our appraisals are typically right now taking about a week. I've got 5 appraisers on our local Whatcom County appraisal panel that are fantastic, that I've hand selected. And we are not seeing a lot of low appraisals unless that value gets overinflated to get some sort of seller credit. We are not seeing a lot of low appraisals. Those are very important questions to ask a loan officer. What's your average closing timeline on a purchase? Well, if you go to my website, I can tell you with the 371 loans we did in 2024, and this video will age as time goes on. If you scroll down, our app to funded days on average was 13.2 days. So from us getting that application and loading everything to funding the loan was on average about 13.2 days. So that's about 2 weeks, which is fantastic, extremely fast. 99% closed on time of 371 loans. So closing on time, why is that important to you? Well, because if you don't close on time, the seller can and has, I've seen it before, taken earnest money. And I've been the one to save the deals. So you need to know what that average closing timeline is, because that shorter the timeline, that makes the offer more competitive. Everybody wants to be competitive and get their offer accepted. So you need to know what the average timeline is on a purchase. And if a loan officer doesn't know that, it's very concerning. Or if they go, it's about 30 to 45 days and they can't give you, an exact amount, that could be concerning. Do you underwrite your loan files in-house? We have underwriters that work for my company, for Evergreen Home Loans. They underwrite the files. I have their numbers. I know the underwriting guidelines. There's no overlays. There's a lot of lenders that broker deals to different lenders and they don't know the guidelines. That can be a problem. You can be under contract, pay money for an inspection, appraisal, and something blows up in underwriting that they didn't know about because their underwriting is not in-house. How long will it take to get an underwriting approval? Right? That underwriting is a huge piece of the process. I try to do that ahead of time. Right now, from application through processing and underwriting, it's about a week. That can change, right? Depending on the complexity of the file or if it's during our busy time or whatnot. Also, understanding if you're pre-underwritten, pre-approved, or pre-qualified. Pre-qualified, nobody takes that seriously. That's you calling me, telling me about your income, assets, us writing it down, back of the napkin. Pre-approved is me getting a loan application, reviewing all of that, and writing a letter. And my pre-approval process is very different, which I'll go over on number 16. Pre-underwritten is where you get fully underwritten as well. Okay, so that's I send your file into my processor, into my underwriter. I highly encourage that, especially in a low inventory market like we're in. Number 16, how are you going to make sure my offer is a winning offer? Probably the most important question above everything else, rate, fees, anything like that. We're in a really, really low inventory market. You need to be competitive. You need to be able to write a good offer. You need a good real estate team. I think a lot of these questions are very important to ask your real estate agent as well. How I am going to structure this so that you make a winning offer is, one, I'm going to try to get you pre-underwritten if we have time and get you approved with our Security Plus Seller Guarantee, which is this sheet right here. This backs your offer with $5,000. So the seller's worried about inspection failing and financing failing. This takes away the financing failing concern, because if your financing fails for some reason, we will pay that seller $5,000. We put in the name, the sales price, loan program. I sign it as the branch manager and the loan officer. I have gotten several offers accepted because of this agreement, and our offer price wasn't even the highest price compared to other offers. Huge, huge value proposition. I also do custom videos like this with your pre-approval letter, with the Security Plus, explain how strong your financing is, explain how strong I am as a lender, local lender. I talk about my reviews, my loan process. I make sure that listing agent and that seller feel very, very compelled to take our offer over others. Okay, very important question to ask. When was the last time my credit, income, and assets were checked? You don't want things coming up at the last minute. Some loan officers, they're going to sleep. They don't look at it. And then 6 months later, something changed. And then they go, well, you didn't tell me your job. They should be asking you that. Okay. Do you allow same-day sign-in funds? We're in a very competitive market, tight timelines. A same-day sign-in fund means you sign loan documents at escrow and we fund the loan on the same day. A lot of lenders can't do this. We can. That's how we close loans on an average of 13 days. Will you be able to close on time or early? Why is that important? Well, your earnest money is at risk. Okay, a lot of earnest money is $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. If you don't close on time and that seller has a backup offer, they can take your earnest money and go with that other offer. Very, very concerning. Have you ever financed, if you're buying anything unique, it's not a stick build or it's got an ADU, it's a condo, it's a man home in a park, you need to ask that loan officer if they're comfortable with that, because every property is not created equal. These are the 20 questions you should be interviewing or asking any lender that you're interviewing. The next page here has all of my online reviews. I've closed over 700 loans in my career. It's over $280 million in production. I'm very experienced. I'm really, really looking forward to working with you. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to reach out to me or visit my website, WhatcomHomeLoans.com. We'll see you.